We've got Matheson, Daniel, and an egg. Just kidding, it's Ryan.
They're playing video games. Shut up, it's about to start.
And we're back.
It's been a whole day. Oh, Descenders.
Descender. So you get a bonus if you get 2 clean landings.
Let me tell you, multiplayer is cool. It would be nice if there was a little bit of extra heat, you know what I mean?
Like something for us to fight over.
Some consequence of any sort beyond just having a good time with your friends, taking some bike rides.
We're gonna have to make up our own.
I don't really do that. I'm not saying it's cool that the multiplayer works. I just wish there was also, like, you know, you could make Mathis eat some gross jelly beans.
No, I'm good, dude. I'm real good. I have such a weak stomach.
Really?
Yeah, I gag really easily.
I'm not gonna even put you on blast for that, because like I get motion sickness when I play games.
Yeah, so do I.
I'm like so over comments that are like, what's it like having a baby in her ear? I don't know. You know, talk to my ancestors 13,000 years ago, I guess.
Like, what kind of games make you guys sick?
It's
VR bad frame rate.
Yeah.
Like easy number 1.
All right, I'm not making it through this level.
Number 2 is any game that thinks it's hilarious to have your character take an alcoholic drink and then stumble around forever.
With a blurry screen.
Yeah. Or like, you know, you get drugged by an enemy and your screen gets all wavy. Isn't that cool? First person stuff with low FOV, like Portal 1 and Portal 2 are borderline unplayable for me.
Is low FOV more fisheye or less fisheye?
Less fisheye.
You can't play like Doom you couldn't play, or like Wolfenstein?
Well, we can crank up the FOV on those at least.
And like, I don't know, something about it being like 2D and smooth frame rate is not so bad. Like, I played a lot of Doom and Wolfenstein when I was a kid. Like 3D environments where you're whipping your head around and it has like full control of your view instead of locked onto an axis. It's pretty bad.
The same thing for you, Mathis?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. I need to be able to widen the FOV.
Dude, VR is the worst. Like,
Yeah, VR is,
I played,
man.
like Pool Nation VR, and it was really cool. It felt like I was playing pool. But every once in a while, it would dip down to like 15 frames per second, and it was like your brain was short-circuited. You're in like the environment that the game is presenting. You're just like, oh, my brain's not processing the images fast enough, and you know, it's a weird feeling.
Any VR game that also allowed me to just move without actually physically moving, like use a joystick to move, I immediately would get sick.
Yeah.
Because my brain's like, you're not actually walking. This isn't right.
Did you guys ever? There's only been one game like that for me. It was called, oddly enough, it's called Descent.
Oh yeah, okay.
Descent.
The six-axis shooter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the spaceship. I had that as a kid.
Yeah.
Oh! I went for 3. Didn't work.
Dude, like, number of, I mean, there's things that aggravate motion sickness, right? Like, one of them is caffeine, for sure. If you're, like, over-caffeinated, you get motion sick way faster. And obviously, like, you know, a hangover doesn't help either. So, you know, check this out. In my younger days, I played a Descent-inspired, you know, 6-dimension sewer shooter at PAX while, you know, being hungover, and was like, after I toughed it out for like 15 minutes, and they're like, you know, what do you think? And I'm like, it's good, but
I gotta go.
You're talking like when you frame it that way, that's like an old school PAX where you actually played the games.
Dude, I still play the games. I just like, it's no longer the focus of being at PAX.
First, I can't land this jump, the very first jump. I'm landing on my wheels, but...
Press B as you're landing, or hold B.
Oh, really?
Try not to hit the branch on
Well, yeah, that was my fault.
Dude, I was thinking about that. Like, you know, I've cut all the expos, like, except for PAX out of my rotation. But it's just, it's nice to be at PAX. You're gonna like this. I was watching this documentary last night about this dude who was on The Price is Right, and he built,
of course,
like, a database of all the. He watched the show like religiously for like 30 years, right? And he learned that like there's a lot of recurring prizes, and he put them all in a database and like quizzed himself, so he would just get the perfect bid consistently. But there's an interview with Bob Barker, and he talks about like living in Hollywood, and he says there's these tour buses that go by all the time, and like a lot of other celebrities, they just like wave or they like walk by and smile. Bob Barker goes over and talks to him, and they're like, well, you know, you got your own stuff going on in your life. Why would you do that? And he said like, well, without those people, I would have had to actually work for a living.
It's true though.
I was like, dude, that's like, I'm gonna remember that when I go to PAX.
Yeah.
I'll always make time to talk to people. Not that I don't at PAX already, but you know that's what I'm there for, is to say, hey, thanks for letting me
Exactly.
talk garbage and play video games instead of having to work as a, you know, I don't know, whatever.
A waiter for the rest of my life.
Well, I do have to say, objectively speaking, I can't say this for Mathis, and not that you're not Mathis.
Oh God.
But I've noticed, Ryan Gary, if I had to say, over the past 18 months, you've been more integrated with your community.
Yeah, I think so.
So that was a conscious. I mean,
Well, it's a couple of. I mean, one is recognizing, I guess, that even people who are critical of you are largely also fans of you. That just, you know.
That's
said
why you
something
let
they
people
probably
argue in the comments, man. It helps the algorithm. Let them go.
Like that's part of it, and I don't know. Like part of it is, you know, I do think I have a thick enough skin that I can like take a relatively high amount of like pseudo personal comments and then try to, and I take a little inspiration from you on this, honestly, but like try to get like the little pearl of actual like honesty that comes from that. Like if somebody says like NL is a dumbass, like what are they saying? Are they saying that I'm stupid, or are they saying that they're like frustrated because the performance hasn't been good lately? And it takes a little bit out of you to do that consistently, but I think it's a good habit as well.
yeah.
Oh, God.
But I've definitely noticed that in you know, but and would you agree, Mathis? I feel like, you know, not comparatively speaking, but just in general, I feel like Ryan, you know, does have very thick skin. You know, I don't know if you've tuned into, you know, any of his, I don't want to say recent, but any of his shows on Twitch, you know, depending on what's going on, I mean, there's some, I always say my thing is like, and I gotta be
Well,
careful
it's
on
hard.
how I
It's
say-
hard to like. I don't know. It's hard to listen to like Twitch chat, because Twitch chat becomes like a mindless single force that takes the lowest hanging fruit and just pushes it until it's dead. I think YouTube comments is where you can find. Exactly. YouTube comments is where you can find those pearls of wisdom, because chat. I mean, seriously, how many times can you say, "Do this in chat," and then for the next 30 seconds to a minute, that's all you see?
I don't know. I think we're just on different sides of the coin for Twitch chat, but
Well,
I mean,
the bigger you stream, the harder it is to control your chat.
But I wouldn't. What did you call it? Low hanging fruit? I don't see it as that, you know. But like at the same time, like if 1,000 people are saying the same thing, I think it's on you as a content creator to be like, yo, there's probably a point. If there's 10 people who are really loud, like maybe those 10 people had a really bad day or something, you know. But
I don't know, man. Like, I mean, I told you like in our Discord, like I'm having this crisis, and it's like you might have thought I was joking, but there's an honest element of it where I'm like, I'm starting to realize like what percentage of people that are consistently like in chat are intoxicated or like otherwise like they have something that's like compromising their ability to talk. Like it's starting to get to the point where I'm like, you know, it's easier to brush aside like really rude criticism. And I talked about this on Sunday, but I'll reiterate it again for the people that weren't watching. Like, what I do, like if somebody's being really rude, I will do like the deep dive into their profile and like see what else they're saying, just to see like, are they toxic everywhere? And the answer is usually yes.
Almost always, yes.
Yeah, but there's also like usually there's like little nuggets of like actual sadness where they're like, you know, my life is terrible. Like things in my life are happening that like suck really bad. And you know, on the one hand, when somebody makes you feel bad and you read that, you go like, surprise, surprise, you know.
Yeah, no, that's how I feel.
But secondarily, it also, you know, it makes you like a little melancholic about the whole situation where I'm like, you know, this person obviously, you know, they feel like isolated or ostracized in their life, and that's led to them, I don't know, being involved in some communities where they start saying garbage stuff, and then when they say that to people who are not involved in it, the people are like, why are you saying that trash? And they just lead to getting more and more isolated. So like, I don't know. I don't think there is a way for like the content creator specifically to break the cycle. And
no.
like, a YouTuber or a Twitch streamer should not really have any obligation, in my opinion, to shoulder the brunt of that person's problems and take it upon themselves at great mental health risk. But like, if you have the capability, it helps put it in perspective, I think.
Like why they would say something like nasty.
And and I'm like, this person's saying some toxic stuff, but you got to remember it's coming from a person who is like, emotionally compromised in their own way. And if you just go like, you just kind of say like, hey, whatever you said, like, it bothered me, and they're like, oh, I didn't realize that, the garbage I was saying could make somebody feel bad, and then they're like, maybe there's a chance it's not gonna solve the problem, but for one person.
But I feel like if you
with more decorum.
If you reach out to people who do that and say that, you're also running the risk of the people who are like good and then will just do it more.
I don't know. I take a less cynical approach to that, but I definitely see where you're coming from.
I just shadow ban them.
I mean,
they can keep writing that way. They can keep writing their comments, and then nobody's reading it.
On YouTube, I don't care, but on Twitter, because I see.
Oh, Twitter? Yeah, I think that's a different beast for you.
It's garbage. You throw the baby out with the bathwater sometimes, but like, and I apologize to the people that this is gonna, be about. But like, people have been watching me since they're like 15, and then they like go to college and they get hammered, and they send me like a huge, tweet thread when they're drunk that's just totally incomprehensible. Whether it's positive or negative, I'm like, I'm sorry. This is not what I have Twitter for. So.
Right.
Like
probably a lot of
tweet you?
God damn it.
On occasion, yeah.
Like what will don't call him out, but like give me the Reader's Digest of it.
Sometimes it'll just be like, mostly it's not even like, hey, I love you, hey, I hate you. Mostly it's just like, a tweet at like 3:30 a.m. that's like spelled wrong. That's just like, what do you put in your grilled cheese? And I'm like, yeah, it's I respect, here's the thing, you have the right to, say it. It's not toxic, but it's just like, it makes Twitter worse. I hate to say this over and over, but I'm like, I'm 30 years old. I feel like any YouTuber that like is of that age and responds to that question is like, mentally, are you like 14?
Come on. Ah, fuck. Yeah.
But you have seen the NLSS, right? No, I get it, but at the same time, like, I'm like glass half full. Like, I do think, like, I don't think it's your role or anything, but I think you can help people. Maybe not sometimes on a one-to-one, but sometimes, just by like, I don't know. The one thing that gets me, and I don't want to say this because it's like kryptonite, and I think you guys maybe will both agree. If you're streaming on Twitch and you see a couple resident sleepers, like for whatever it is for me, that's my kryptonite. And like if I see
everybody has their kryptonite, yeah.
I'm like, you
gotta like mentally barricade. Don't let the sleepers into your psyche.
Because one thing was like, hey, you're bad at this game or anything, like, yeah, like you're probably right, but if it's like saying, hey, this is not entertaining, it's like, well, that's why I'm trying to do this.
Yeah, exactly.
Entertaining,
But at the same time, you got to keep like, I don't know, when that comes around, it's like I can't please everybody. My content is not going to be good for everybody.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I agree. What got me, and I was tilted on last Tuesday when we played PUBG, is the thing, like, we're here to be entertaining, not to just like, play X game. Like,
right.
If we're gonna play the best game ever made, but we're gonna not be entertaining while we're doing it, then
there's no point.
I want to do, right?
Yeah.
So when we were playing PUBG, we were getting inundated with resident sleepers, and the actual like banter level content was really good. I thought, at least.
Yeah,
a lot of people in chat seemed to, after the fact, they were like, I was skeptical about PUBG, but actually it was like old times. The conversations were good. But like, to just be like hit with the RSs because you're not playing, the pixels on the screen are not the pixels that people wanted to see. It's very frustrating when you're also endeavoring hard to be like, hey, what's your favorite, fruit that starts with an O?
But it's the same kind of people who want to watch you guys like play Terraria, but play it in a way that you're playing the most efficient and quickly and seeing everything in the game in order as fast as possible. Also want you to want to see the awe and the excitement of you seeing things for the first time, but then don't realize that you can't really follow a checklist unless you've really played the game before. The whole point is to experience things naturally as you play through the game, but they don't want that. They want the expedited process plus the awe of you being excited of playing it the first time.
Well, I can't speak for Dan, but like the reason, like Terraria's been okay, but
That's good.
part of the reason it's been a little bit less than stellar in my opinion is because like particularly like Dan and myself, I think I kind of see us as like we're not the best players of these games, but you know, when there's dead air, we can sort of start to spin something a little bit more entertaining
Yeah.
about it. And so you're like, you know, your brain's working trying to figure out like, oh, how am I gonna make this entertaining for the audience? And then the audience is just like, you know, hitting you with a laundry list of like, mine 37 demonite ore. Take the demonite ore to the forge, smelt the demonite ore into bars, turn that into a demonite bar, and then if you infuse the demonite bar with meteorite dust, then you get a 6.4%.
Yeah, that shit, like, who gives a shit?
And you're like, what channel are you watching? Like,
At the same time, like I can appreciate like that they're that into the game, but also maybe not so much that like that's not what the point is. You know, or at least that's not what we're trying to do. You know.
So is that everybody's kryptonite then? Resident Sleeper for you too?
Resident Sleeper is really bad.
Gotcha.
I got
sense.
really annoyed. People were like, you know, check out the view count for PUBG versus Terraria.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like, dude, I don't care. I don't want to sound like I don't care about the view count, but like you can't win. If you do something for the view count, people are like, oh, wow, he's just doing it because it gets views. If you do something that you like and the view count drops, you're like, oh, rip, check it out. He's not listening to his audience. Right? I'll tell you, the top rights are staying relatively consistent month over month, year over year, right? So like the view count is a little bit secondary.
Yeah. Yeah, on Twitch especially, the view count is secondary as long as you're maintaining your sub count.
So like, you know, I kind of look at it not on a stream by stream level, more on like a month by month level, and that's what was frustrating for me. I got over it, but like, I was like, the PUBG stream is like more along the lines of what I want to do because I thought that the banter was fun and like the emergent gameplay was cool. But apparently there's a large proportion of people who are like, I would rather just watch them play Terraria and shout at them to do things in the most efficient way possible. Some affirmation that I know how to play the game.
I think the thing that kills me the most, the thing that immediately just hits like a weird nerve in my head that just makes me upset is the people who don't understand the fuck Matt, this meme is a meme. And when people come at me with like, you're a piece of shit, why are you playing with these people, they don't like you. And I'm like, well, cool. That's not us. No, then they're not understanding the humor. That's the problem. Yeah, you didn't think it was a meme?
No, I didn't know that. Like, I didn't know people talk. Like, I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't know that the fuck Mathis thing is everywhere?
No, I didn't even know that's a thing. Like.
Oh yeah, that's everywhere. Which I don't care about. Oh, the Edmund. No, fuck Matt. When did fuck Mathis start? That was that's been around for years. I don't really care. It's just there are a few people out there who don't understand it's a joke.
Yeah,
and they're like,
any community, right?
Yeah, exactly. So whenever I see that, they're like, they're ditching you for Malf, thank God. That hits a nerve for me super hard. I'm like, do you not understand that we're all friends and we all talk every day?
At it like from this perspective, but I'll do a better job about it.
I don't blame anyone here.
Because I lean into it.
And I lean into it.
Now that I know that there's
I make anime titty sex jokes constantly.
Yeah, but that's, I mean, I've been going through the same thing. Like, so people are, you know, they were a little toxic about Sekiro, and this was like, the main crisis of faith I had is that people will, like, the community is sometimes really, 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 really good.
Yes,
and, I mean,
almost always.
They're watching me play Isaac. I've been playing it for 8 years. It's insane, right? So I'm extremely grateful for that. But sometimes, you know, as with any fandom, it can turn a little toxic. And then in the same breath, people are like psychoanalyzing like how many wrinkles I have on my brain. There's people that are like, why won't he invite X on the show? Why won't he invite Y on the show? They really, you know, I'm not inviting people on the show is because like one of the most consistent pieces of criticism I hear from friends and colleagues is that my chat is like really rude to them on the regular. And they're like, are they think it's really messed up that NL doesn't put any effort in his show. Why doesn't he just, if he invited, like, Elon Musk on his show, he could throw a great, maybe the reason I don't want to invite that many people I respect on the show is because, like 25% of the time it goes over really well, and 75% of the time, the people are making posts on the subreddit like, oh, X person's on the show. Guess I'll see you Monday. It's like really crappy. And then the blowback is on me, like, well, NL doesn't want to put any effort into his show and blah, blah, blah.
It's just annoying. Everybody has our breaking point too. We're still human,
Yeah.
We're very good at I feel like all of us are pretty damn good at handling the I guess toxic aspect of the community. But every once in a while, I mean, it's gonna hit a nerve.
Yeah, it just is what it is. I don't want to sound like I'm overly complaining.
So at the same time next week for therapy, boys.
It's the yin and the yang of like the parasocial relationship. Right?
At the end of the day, we still get to play video games for a living, right?
Well,
Like,
moreover, like it's just like the human brain is just bad, right? Because we like get, we probably get an undeserved amount of hate when you consider that we're just playing video games and cracking jokes. But like, we also get people that are like, "You saved my life," and I'm like, really?
yeah, and that's
I didn't do anything.
yeah.
So you probably get a disproportionate amount of love, but because the human
Yep.
brain is like, of course
I mean-
you love me, but if you hate me, something's gone terribly wrong.
You've seen that like plenty of different variations in the same idea of like 10 good comments and 1 bad comment, but you go to bed remembering the bad comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not talking about the people that have been subscribed for like 18 months, 24
Right.
straight months.
Yeah, exactly.
70 months.
All right, screw the track, I guess. Off-roading. Oh, dead.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time like seeing where we're supposed to go. It's like a ribbon, right? That's it. What is
This is follow the. I think he means like on the side.
Yeah.
Oh. Like a
What is
rib
that?
cage.
No, ribbon. You know what ribbon is?
Ribbon, like that you put on a gift.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wasn't that what that is on the course?
Yeah, it's like a plastic ribbon.
What do you call that in Canada?
I think you would call it ribbon.
Oh.
That's a good point. I can't really deny that.
Keep wiping
Anyway, I
out.
think you're gonna love Bloodborne.
I'm excited. I'm excited to play it. I kind of want to play a little bit of something else first, kind of like you guys were saying.
Yeah, you gotta put a piece of bread in between the meat, You can't
Exactly.
eat meat all the time.
Yeah.
Bloodborne's whole like lore is right up my alley too. It's really cool.
Is there fake lore in that game too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very.
What's the overarching like? You're a
Think-
guy.
Yeah, I think Lovecraftian horror, basically.
What's
So
that?
it's-
Leftian horror?
Lovecraftian.
That's like
Cthulhu. Yeah,
Steam
exactly.
goggles.
Steam goggles.
Octopus.
Octopus with steam goggles.
That's what I think of Lovecraft stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm
God,
trying to
jeez.
remember the actual like specific story, but it's like
The blood, man. It's all about the blood.
Yeah,
They
blood.
discovered the old ones underneath the ground, started taking their blood, and drove them mad.
every From Software game, it starts with like, here's some dudes with rusted sword hilts, and then it's just a countdown until the first tentacle appears. Start playing-
And every single one of their stories is about a cycle, the life and rebirth, and even Sekiro is all about that.
Like, it's like in Sekiro, the first time you step into murky green water and you see your poison status start to build up, you're like,
Here we go.
There was a scene in Dark Souls 3 towards the end where there's this girl painting and everyone in chat's like, this is the connection between Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne. And I'm like, is there a connection?
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the DLC, right?
Yeah, is there a
Yeah.
connection?
No, it's all fan theory.
Oh.
But the creator has come out and said that they're not connected. I mean, you can kind of broadly connect Sekiro as well if you really wanted to, but they're not really connected.
Miyazaki did Bloodborne?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why it's good.
He did Sekiro too, though.
You did, yeah.
Oh, God.
Ryan, what are you playing on Sunday? Do you know yet?
I was thinking of doing Pokemon Let's Go, but
Oh,
I'm not
nice.
totally sure.
Just
yet.
practice Smash with me instead.
No, that's obviously like. Yeah, it might be. I don't know though, because like Kate and I were going away for a week in like a week and a half. So
Come to E3. Come to E3.
I'm not gonna come to E3, you madman.
But I'm going.
Upset about being a content.
Yeah, you said you gotta go see and say hi to your fans. That's what it's all about.
Oh, that's for PAX. None of my fans.
All right, fair. I'm going to E3, and I'm your biggest fan.
I need some time away from the internet, like to just be like in a restaurant and not look at Twitter. That's like my number one vacation goal.
What are you gonna do to facilitate that?
Well, we're going to Japan for a week.
I know, but are you not bringing your phone?
No, I'll bring my phone. But hey, most of the community.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
US,
Go.
North
I made
American
it.
Basis, so due to the time difference, it's just a lot of dog pictures and then ads in Japanese.
Yeah, but those tweets are still gonna come in, just at a different time.
You know, you don't need to cross-examine the big to that extent. So
Just delete Twitter off your phone on vacation.
It's honestly not that bad. Like, I don't go through this crisis very often, to be honest.
I do have to say, I will miss. I feel like traveling Ryan is the best Twitter Ryan.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, I'll be tweeting for sure.
All right. Because he was just like, hey, this guy is eating this Japanese cuisine not the correct way. Where was he growing up? You know, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna play on the upcoming Sundays. I might start Pokemon. I'm not totally convinced yet.
And that's
We'll see.
basically you just collect them all, or is there an end game?
I mean,
It's a remake of the original Pokemon.
Yeah, I
Oh, it is?
just collect them.
Yeah.
All. Like, I'm not gonna be one of those guys that's like, you know, you gotta get the ideal special stat for your Gyarados.
But you just collect them all, and then once you get them all, you're done.
No, it's like there's a story. You don't need to collect them all if you don't want to. Collecting them all is like the original Platinum Trophy.
Oh.
You beat the boss and you win.
Mathis, did you collect them all?
When I was a kid, I did.
What about nowadays?
No, I haven't really picked up a Pokemon in years. I tried to play Sun and Moon a little bit, and I burnt out in like a couple hours. I was like,
You guys want
Yeah.
call this one?
yeah, sure.
All right. Thanks for watching. You know the deal. Top right, by the way. Thumbs up. Rate 5-star on iTunes and subscribe. See you next time.
Bye, everybody.